Hey there guys, welcome back to another deck profile with yours truly, Paul Reisman. Today we are taking a look at MeSung.
Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now taking orders on our Q4 2024 circuit kits, and to our guest lecturer members, Bite Ramen and Casey Madden. Class is in session.
This guy, once he sings enough ohms, becomes a Super Saiyan, dealing a ton of different blows to your opponent and just totally obliterating them. It's pretty great. So let's take a look at this. You are going to be gaining mantra over the course of the game. If you have 2 or more, you can start searching your deck as an activate ability for any martial art chant and revealing it, putting it into your hand once per turn. 3 or more, you're allowed to perform judgment. When you do perform judgment and you are at 4 mantra or more, you have eternal and imperishable. 5 or more, you gain a damage reduction effect. Anytime anything would be done greater than 900 to you, you take 900 damage instead. That's important for another damage prevention card that we're going to be seeing a little bit later on. It's one of the ohms, and it's really, really important for taking very little damage over the course of the game. If you are at Mantra 6, you get to play Ohm of the End. Attacking does not cause this card to rest if you resolve the God's Art, and if you do, you get to attack 6 different times, which is really, really helpful. Keep in mind all of these effects on MeSung, especially if he's solo mode, because he gets additional things just like the God's Art here. Martial art chants you control cannot be targeted, which means that if they're on the chase, your opponent cannot do anything to interact with them, although High Speed Uppercut does get rid of one of your ohms in the graveyard, which could be very devastating for you, so just be aware of that. At the beginning of the game, you can play that initial Ohm Song of the Six Beliefs, which will then get you one of your Taoist Masters from the deck. So effectively, you can start with 42 cards in your main deck, and you're going to be going down to 40 pretty quick right off the bat. Not to mention you're going to be drawing 5 cards per turn, so you can go a little bit over what you would normally do in the first place. You also, with solo mode, get the option to just pay a white, destroy target addition, or Regalia. And so that's really helpful if you want to deal with Mask. Mask is a pretty big issue for the deck if you're not able to take care of that. So having something built in to help you do that is really, really, really great. So let's take a look at Ohm, Song of the Six Beliefs. This is the card that you're going to be casting at the beginning of the game and giving you your first mantra. After this, you're able to search your deck for a martial chant with total cost X. X is dependent on the amount of mantra you have plus 1, so you are able to effectively search this out with MeSung, play it, and then you're playing one of the ohms that you need from your deck in order to kind of deck thin a little bit. This is really, really helpful because you're essentially casting 2 cards instead of just 1, thinning your deck even more for the cards that you need. You're going to be grabbing your Master at the beginning of the game because you're solo mode. This is really helpful for making sure all of your things can remain on the field. This card actually gives people a lot of trouble because you can't remove him. Eternal is a very powerful keyword for this guy. He also does not have to target a Taoist or a monk, so you can give this to your spoilers Odin if you would like. If your opponent's trying to get rid of that, this is really helpful for maintaining that Odin on the field, continuing the pressure that he exhibits. We also have 4 Ritualists. This is a mini mask for anything that's not a martial art, non-resonator spell. You have to pay 1 additional, as well as any activate abilities costing an extra will. This does affect your MeSung, so playing this skillfully is going to be really important. Floodgating your opponent does have some value. He does have First Strike and Barrier to J resonators, as well as Untouchable, so his enter effect to remove a non-Taoist resonator from the game cannot be interacted with, which is really nice for you. It's just uninteractable removal. Very nice. As long as it's not a Taoist, you're going to be yeeting that thing from the game. On top of that, we also have Disciple. Disciple is really good for decks that are not exactly aiding. This card does get Drain and +4/+2 in flying if you have Mantra 2. This is very nice, just being able to swing in and gain some additional life. Your opponent's dealing you damage, cool. I'm going to play this 6/6, and he's just going to be able to swing in. He can get bigger because of some of your ohms, so this thing is actually pretty terrifying if you have enough things stacking up. Speaking of the ohms, let's talk about ohm number 2, just so I don't absolutely butcher the names here. Ohm number 2 is quick cast, so if you end up getting this, you can just play it on your opponent's turn if you would like. Each of the ohms is going to gain you a mantra and then do a special ability. This one is going to take you to mantra 2, and it's going to allow you to get a 4/4 Light Monk Taoist Resonator token into the field, which is really helpful for just, you know, hey, I didn't play a Resonator this turn because I'm trying to play my ohms. Here's a body. Go to town. Ohm number 3 allows you to go to mantra 3, and then allows you to fill up your hand back up to 4 cards. That's sometimes not going to happen. I know for me it didn't happen very often, but it is helpful when you do have it. I found myself just having a stack of cards in hand, so this card never really resolved with that drawing effect. But hey, you never know when you're going to be up against something where you need to like throw out your whole hand to try and stop things. Ohm number 4 allows you to increase your damage prevention. So if your MegaDryBone is now preventing damage to the point where it's going to be 900, this is going to reduce it even further. So anything above 9, plus this card being online until end of game, means that you're going to be maybe taking 700 total from something that's like a 15 or something. This thing is really powerful for that reason. I look at this card and I think that Rukiel is going to have some interesting interactions with this particular deck, even with all of the big resonators that can swing and deal some damage to you. MegaDryBone might be able to just, you know, make that damage negligible overall. That's ohm number 4. Number 5 allows you to get a +2/+2 for all of your Taoist J resonators until end of game. They also gain Pierce, which is really helpful, and you're also going to mantra 5. Once you get to mantra 6, you're going to be dealing triple damage from your Taoist J/resonators. That's how you get up to 18,000 damage with MegaDryBone after he's flipped. This is just super fun. You're basically trying to resolve this so you can just win the game. That's your primary win condition. Otherwise, your secondary win condition is going to be Odin. He's a 15/15 flyer with Pierce that you can get out relatively easily. So Odin is here to just blow up your opponent's stones and do crazy things like that. He's really great for that. Of course, we're kind of a mid-range deck, so we're playing Flute. This is a really good way of making sure that your spell slinging is able to be happening without you losing much of your own resources. She also has Barrier, so she's hard to get rid of, and you can pump up some things by +1/+1 counters, which, you know, in the event that you only have Master on field, sometimes even that little extra chip damage from Flute counters on Makoto Clothcore Master is actually pretty good. Believe it or not, I've had to do that a few times and it's been pretty great. Otherwise, you're just generating mana. Playing a couple of Girls Staring At because we are base white, as well as some Tinkerbells because we are playing 2-drops and 1-drops. Tinkerbell is here to just blow up the field and do those kinds of things, kind of get you out of other mask shenanigans. If there are things that are building up on your opponent's board and you just need to wrestle back momentum, this is a good way of doing that. We're also playing Flashing Smile for that very reason. I found that if my opponent was able to make a board against me, I had really no other ways of getting out of that by then just playing Flashing Smile and blowing up their stuff. This card is really helpful for that, plus it maintains hand advantage and replaces itself, so it's really good for that. We have Dark Alice Rabbit Princess to kind of churn us through the deck. That's really helpful for just finding your combo pieces. Alice's fantastic trick, because guess what? When you play Ohm Song of the Six Beliefs, you have technically cast 2 cards because you have found one of your ohms in the deck and cast that card as well. This is now unchaseable. Thought this was a cute card, so we added it to the deck. Really good way of getting around some other things that you may not be able to take care of otherwise. course, we're playing the 3 Odin, and then we're playing 4 Solaria's Light. This is the m.ha inspiration, just to play this and a couple of Odins, just to be able to say I have another win condition outside of MeSung. So if I need to pivot and just blow up my opponent's stones, that's a good way of doing it. This is also a really good way of making sure that if your opponent has like a graveyard deck or something else that they really like to have cards in the places they're supposed to go, this basically says that that card is removed from the game instead. And yeah, too bad. I'm sorry, man. Solaria's Light is actually pretty decent for that. Stone deck is going to be pretty straightforward. We're playing 4 Heaven's Rift. We're playing 4 of the Ancient Magic Stone, and then we're playing 2 of the Fragment of the Emerald Tablet, so we always have white and black. Other than that, guys, let me know what you think of the list down below in the comment section. MeSung, very fun, you know, ruler in general. Really enjoyed playing him. It was very straightforward. Deck building was not very hard for him. So if you're new to the game, this is a really good ruler for you to pick up and try. And so with all that being said, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Hit subscribe and ring that bell for more content like this. And until next time, guys, this has been Paul saying class is dismissed.